All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had a long day today, but squeezed me into your schedule. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm very excited.
Very excited. Okay. How about just for I've heard your story, but just to kind of hear it again, kind of you have a unique background, like where you're from, kind of your upbringing, as well as your experience of church growing up. I know you've told me a couple times, but could you kind of just tell that story again, like where you grew up and what was that like?
Well, I'm from like a small town called Waynesville, or actually called Fishersville. I usually tell people I'm from Waynesville because it's like the closest town to Charlottesville that people usually have heard of. But yeah, I was born in New York, and my parents moved down to Fishersville to start a restaurant, and I moved in with them. I think when I was like 5 years old. So basically, from the years of 5 to when I graduated high school, I just stayed in this very small town, just hoping at the restaurant, going to school, just going to the same three places, going to McDonald's.
McDonald's, a restaurant, and the school,
Yeah.
and home.
Yes. And the library occasionally, but it was like my worldview was very small, let's say. But also from like a church thing, I actually, my family wasn't Christian before. I think my parents only started going to church after my uncle became Christian in 2010, and then both my parents I guess found Jesus when they were in 2011, and then ever since then, they've been kind of dragging me and my sister along with them. Taking us to church, putting us into these like Bible schools and to these like church camps and retreats that my home church would host.
In Waynesville?
No. My home church is in New York. And we would tune into service online, usually most weekends. And then when I was very young, we would go up to New York a couple of times a year. I think it was as frequent as like once a month at some point. But yeah, but most of the time, like we would just tune into service on like Zoom.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Okay, so we've talked about this before, but just to revisit that, that's fascinating. So when you say like your family was going to church, you're talking about online.
Yeah, it was very online. It was just most of the time it was just like my parents, me and my sister.
What is that? Are you like throwing it up on the TV? What does that look like?
We would put it up on like my mom's computer, and then we'd just sit there in a row and turn our camera on. And then the pastor.
It's like a
gave us
laptop.
sermon. Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah. What was that like? Like, this is your elementary school? Like,
Basically from elementary to when I graduated high school. It was like this every Sunday.
were you able to pay attention?
I mean, when I was really young, I didn't really understand because they preached in Chinese and they used like the Chinese King James like version translated.
Yeah, so that's double whammy.
Yeah, I
That's
could barely like my Chinese was okay when I was young.
Yeah.
And then like started actually getting worse when I grew up. Instead of like, you're supposed to get better at a language. But
Yeah.
for me, it just like completely went downhill. So it was very difficult to understand.
Yeah. Man, so then you're sitting there every week
Yeah, sitting there every week.
listening
It's like-
to Chinese
It's Chinese
message with ancient language.
and it was like 2 hours
2 hours.
usually because like there would be an hour of like testimony and like song and prayer,
Wow.
and then an hour of like preaching. And
And you did that throughout
Yeah.
middle school, high school. And then you would go visit physically once a month.
yes, and then usually in like the winters or the summers, my church would host like camps for a couple. Like in the winter, it would be like a week. In the summer, it would be like 2 weeks. And I would go to these camps, and these would be like kind of like youth retreats. Or they would call them student camps, where all the church kids would just get together and like go to like a different place and explore that region, while also like studying the Bible together.
Yeah.
And then when I got graduated high school, actually, and then starting college, I started volunteering for these and being like a teacher for them.
So when you say my church, this is New York my church.
Yeah, this is New York church.
New York City.
Yeah,
I forgot where exactly.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, New York City. Yeah. Wow. And then once a month you would go up, and then so you kind of, because I guess before college, that's like a decade of going to this church, being a part of this church. Did you feel like you were part of the church growing up?
It's very difficult to say, but I think not really. Like I had developed a lot of friendships with the people, like some of my peers, who also grew up going to these camps, but they themselves went to like physical locations because they lived closer to them. So they themselves also had their own like friend groups.
Yeah.
But for me, it was kind of just like me and my sister. And then occasionally these people we would recognize and would just hang out with at these camps. But besides, outside of these camps, it was just, my family.
Yeah, man.
But my parents, they were very connected. Like they know all the brothers and sisters of the New York church. So,
Interesting. Because it was while you were in New York that when did they become Christian? When you had already moved down?
Yeah,
or?
they moved down. But essentially the story is my uncle used to work in my family's restaurant. But then he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So he moved to New York, and he went through a period of like very difficult times and was contemplating like suicide.
Interesting.
And he met my pastor and received, I guess we call it in our church, we call it like salvation. He received salvation and forgiveness of sins. And then ever since then, he turned his life around.
Wow.
And he became a pastor.
He became a pastor?
He's now
at
a pastor.
That church?
Yeah, he's in,
wow.
He leads, I think, 2 or 3 churches in LA.
Oh, LA?
Yeah.
He's in LA now?
Currently.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically that was in 2010, and then in 2011, he was like continuously evangelizing to my parents, and then he finally was able to convince my mom to go to one of these conferences,
Interesting.
like church conferences with him.
Yeah.
And then through him, my mom became Christian. Then my dad.
Yeah.
And then me and my sister.
Yeah. So that's really fascinating. And then my guess is probably it's the relational connection plus the fact that, like, my guess as to why your family didn't look for another church like close by, local.
I think another issue was like language. I think my parents speak, their English is better now, but I think they just feel like their community is in the church in Brooklyn. Even when their English was like not so great.
Interesting. So their friend group.
Yeah. Like everyone they know, their friend group.
So day to day, they're just grinding. They're running a restaurant. It's a all day thing. And then their relational world is Brooklyn, New York.
Actually, ever since I moved out, like me and my sister moved out, they started doing these like Bible studies in the restaurant. And they've been getting a decent amount of people. I think they were up to like, I think like 20 to 30 people.
20 to 30 people? Wow.
So I think they're
Not
also
Chinese.
doing Lord's work. Yeah. Even though they're so far away, they have this like desire to like continuously grind and like serve the church, which is like extremely like motivating to see like from my end, because I mean, if I would live so far away, I'd rather just be like, since I'm not there, like the pastor can't really tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Versus like them, they are very devoted.
Your parents are awesome.
Serving. Yeah.
Wow. And then because the 20 to 30, it's not like they're connected to the Brooklyn church. It's just locals of like people that maybe they see at the restaurant and they're striking up conversation and they're doing like outreach to their own like customers or something.
Yeah.
Like
if you go into a restaurant, actually, there's a lot of like posters, or not posters, I guess like flyers of like Bible verses. Like my mom pastes one over like the toilet. So like whenever you see, you read like Hebrews 10.
Yeah.
Or
so
like
some
Romans
Chinese
3.
restaurants will have like the Buddha statue or whatever, but not here.
No, we have like, I think it was like 3 to 5 Bible verses just pasted everywhere around the restaurant for customers to see.
Wow, that's fascinating. So then your parents are like all in, and they're like, now we're free after Jimmy's gone to college, and they're like doing even more for the Lord.
Yeah, basically pretty much. They just
Wow.
run. It's almost like they run a restaurant on the side and do evangelism. And
Dude,
like
I want to meet
Christian
we got to get your parents on this podcast, man. Wow. And then that's broken English,
Yeah.
and yet they're still like able to gather 20 to 30 people that are willing to do a Bible study with them. That is fascinating. I would love to hear how they do that, what they teach, and like that's really fascinating. So did they put a lot of like pressure on you to get involved and grow and be fully like as invested as they were or they are, or what was that like?
I think when I was young to like high school, not really. It was more of like just going to church on Sunday and like doing morning like Bible study with them. And even
They're doing
then-
daily devotions with you.
daily devotions. So even then, I would like barely wake up for those and like almost just like say like just find. Basically, I would skim the passage and then see a verse. That's like, oh, I can connect something small to this and just say it and then go back upstairs and go to sleep. It was
You went back to sleep.
yeah, I went back to sleep. So my origin story of like my terrible sleep schedule starts there.
You're famous. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was more of like just for me, it was church on Sunday, and camps over the summer or in the winter.
So when did it feel like it became your faith?
I feel like actually this was somewhat recently. I think like third year.
In college.
Yeah, of college. Before then, I was just like going to church. I think I kept the same routine as like high school. Basically, through first and second year, I was just going to church. The first semester, third year, just going to church, doing nothing else, and then just kind of like the sermons would just go through one year and go out the other, and I'll just forget what was preached, and just go about living my life. I think the turning point was Nobleman. In my
Interesting.
opinion.
Yeah.
It was only when I told David this, but we were doing salty questions. But I wouldn't really do the salty questions. I would, because I never had my book. So I would just ask my, like, I have this like atheist friend who I like talked to, interacted, to count for these salty questions. And I would just ask him about his opinion. And then we would just get into these like debates about Christianity and like if there was a God. And then it was like through these conversations that I realized like I don't really have a strong understanding of like what Christian values or like faith is besides from like the gospel. Like I can regurgitate like Jesus died on the cross for our sins.
Yeah.
Now we can go to heaven. Like that's basically the extent of Christianity that I knew. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like I've been going to church for 12 years, I guess now, or 13 years since then. And this is all I can produce. Like, can I really like call myself a Christian? And then I think it's since then that I like
You're getting
decided-
shook.
Yeah. I was
Your
like, I
identity is getting
can't
shook.
I can't like let myself down like this again. You know?
So then what did you do?
I think I started having more like spiritual conversations.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to Sean a lot and AB a lot about this.
Yeah.
About like faith going into like I still struggle a lot with reading the Bible, but like most of my growth has come from them and also from like YouTube. So a lot of watching YouTube.
Watching YouTube.
Doom scrolling put to good use.
Okay.
So,
Any like Cliff or anyone in particular, or?
I think it was Cliff or just random like Instagram reels.
Okay. Instagram Reels. Just letting the algorithm
Yeah, like
determine the fate of your faith right there.
pretty much. My algorithm turned it from like very degenerate brain rot to now like most of my algorithm is like Christian stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Or politics, but we don't need to talk about politics.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, so you said the turning point for you was Nobleman,
Yeah.
third year. But my question is, what made you even sign up for Nobleman? Because Nobleman is an intensive program. It's
Yeah.
like boot camp. It's
Well, that was because of peer pressure. I actually had declined them 3 times.
three
before.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, so Kai had asked me to do Nobleman, I think in December of that, whatever school year that was.
Yeah.
December of like 2025.
Mm-hmm.
2020. What was 2025? No, 20, December of 2024.
24.
Yeah. And I saw the message. I was like, I'm just going to ghost them. So I just left him on red.
You intentionally ghosted him. I will ghost
intentionally
this one.
ghosted him. And then Johnson also texted me.
And
I
you're
think
like, ghost that one too.
I responded. I was like, I don't know.
You responded to Johnson, but not Kai. Okay.
I'm sorry, Kai, if you're listening. But I think I responded to Johnson, and I was like, I'll think about it, which usually for me means like no. And then I think like Kai or Johnson reached out again to me, and I still said I'll think about it. But then they got me to come to like the info session. At least. And at that point, I was talking to Noah, AB, if they were gonna do it.
Yeah.
And AB was like, I'll probably do this. But Noah was on the fence. So I basically told myself that if Noah did it, I would continue doing this.
You chose the lesser of the two.
And Noah
Noah
ended up staying. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to feel left out. So I was just do it.
So it was relational.
It was very relational.
But you knew what it was. Like you were okay with that. Wow.
But I even like through the Nobleman course, I apologized to Kai as well. I did not commit as much as I should have. Like I think I learned the creed. I think like after spring break fully when you were supposed to learn it. I think like a month before spring break.
Yeah.
And like some of the verses and stuff, I never memorized because I was like very focused on just trying to maintain points instead of like gaining points. So
yeah.
Apologies to Kai.
Well, hey, it kind of worked out. It was turned out to be a blessing. The Nobleman guys are going right now. They're in Fort Week right now. And,
I think their 4 week experience and their Nobleman experience is probably better than mine. They all seem more committed than I was.
Committed.
So
sure, it'll be just as good. Okay, so you were saying you grew up. Your parents are all in. They're trying to get you involved. You're kind of coasting. And then it wasn't until junior year, third year, that with Nobleman. But freshman, first year, second year, I guess you got connected.
Yeah.
How did you get connected? How did that happen? And then what was first year Jimmy like?
So I actually got connected before school started. Before my first year of school. I was trying to join a bunch of just trying to make myself known and experience the college life and different social groups. So I think I got connected because I had followed UVA Christians on Instagram, and then Ken, what he later told me was that he had DM'd every single person in that who had followed UVA Christians and invited them to a Q&A session for school. And I was the only one who responded.
You showed up to that?
Yeah, I showed up to that.
This is over Zoom?
This was over Zoom. So story was...
Oh, this is COVID.
This is the year after COVID.
So things are still kind of loosening up a little bit.
Yeah, 2022 summer. So right before school started. And then I show up to this meeting expecting all students. And it turned out that Danielle was and Camille were the only students there. And then they were like, yeah, we apologize. These are the only students. We're all mentors. And I'm like, what? You tell me this after. So I was like, this is very strange. But just Ken, he kept texting me throughout the summer. He helped me move in, offered me free food. So I kind of just kept going to church.
Wow. So Ken.
Yeah. I don't think he never gave up on me.
He didn't give up on you. Man. So then what's that looking like? You're just kind of there. And if Ken keeps you connected, you're like, okay, I'll come to here and there if it seems interesting.
I would go on Sundays. The services, I think, were at Newcomb or the Forum.
Yeah.
So I'll go to those. I'll also go to Fridays, Friday events. I think besides that, I just wasn't showing up unless Ken texted me. I was like, hey, you want to come to my house for dinner, or you want to grab food?
Yeah.
Judge also was very involved. He got me. He was like, hey, you want to go lifting? like you want to do train for an Ironman. So like we actually signed up for an Ironman together.
You signed up for an
I signed
Ironman?
up for Ironman first year.
Ironman's crazy.
Or no, sorry, not Ironman.
Spartan.
Spartans. Yes, I keep getting those two.
Ironman is
yeah.
crazy.
Signed up for a Spartan race, and I ended up getting really sick that weekend, so I never ran it. No, yeah, like sometimes I make excuses when this is like a genuine excuse.
This one's legitimate.
So, yeah.
God answered your prayers.
Yeah. I was ready though. I had put on a lot of like I was very ready for that race. But yeah, so both those two really put a lot of time and effort into like keeping me around. So
man,
they get paid off.
Yeah. So, you're about to graduate soon. Well, how has it been? What's your experience like at UVA? Like, how is it being a Christian? How is your overall experience? Like, did you start off well and then it's kind of gone like that, or kind of up and down?
I think in terms of like me being a Christian, I would say like if I'm looking through like my first and second year, I wasn't really telling others I was Christian. I was more of like wearing different hats when I was in different social groups. Versus like third year, which when I started Nobleman, I started talking more and having more spiritual conversations. And then fourth year, now I just started inviting people to come to like Cook and Book, or like inviting them to come to church, having spiritual conversations with a variety of different people from a variety of different religious backgrounds. So I think it's going up. At least my confidence in my faith has gone up significantly in the 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting that you put it that way. What do you think was contributed to that, like growing in your confidence? Like, was it those conversations and kind of getting answers to questions and that kind of stuff? Or
I think a lot of it was conversation, and a lot of it was like joining this, like realizing that there are people in like the community, like Axiom community, who are like very committed. And I was like, how can someone be so committed to something, right? And then like looking at how they live their lives, seeing how they like grow themselves. It's like very inspiring. So I think that contributed. And I was like, I would more rather be associated with this community than like a social community who only like drinks together or like hangs out together and just like talks about like degenerate things. So I think that's also a contribution to my confidence.
Yeah. What was that like third year? You kind of realized that, or how did you come to realize? Because what you're saying is that's a very significant realization. What led to that? Like,
I think it was just purely the spiritual conversations, and then sorry, not purely, but the spiritual conversations, and two, spending more time with the Axiom people. Like every year, I think I like took on more and more for Axiom, and then spent more and more time with Axiom. Then I think that led to like me wanting to be around more, because like this group is not toxic compared to like other groups that I'm a part of. It's like a community where people actually build each other up, and like you could share what you're thinking without getting like looked down on. So
looking back, so now that you're a wise and experienced fourth year, because like, say you think it was even possible for first year Jimmy to be able to see that, or it's like, I think I had to go through what I had to go through in order for me to kind of come around. And because you're saying like it took time for you to see enough of the community to be like, okay, wow, yeah, actually this is what I want, this is the thing that I've been looking for. Do you think that would have been possible first year?
To immediately see the community first year?
Yeah.
I think I don't think so. Just because of my background, like as a Christian from that point, like before that point, where I was more of a casual Christian, so I saw it more of like a church community as more of like a social experience rather than like a actual community in itself. So I think I had to go through like joining different social groups, wearing different like social like hats in different like environments to be able to realize like, oh, this is the actual group I wanted to be in. Maybe if I spent more time and said yes to more things, like second and third year,
Yeah.
I would have come to this realization earlier.
Because
So-
that's what Keegan was saying. He was saying he would tell himself, first year Keegan or second year Keegan, say yes more, like show up more, do it. Because he was saying that it wasn't until fourth year where he kind of finally got the experience that he was looking for in college. And then he was like, I could have had 3 years of this, kind of. Like, because we were talking about you guys, particularly the fourth year bros and the sisters, like kind of coming together. And you guys look like you're good friends hanging out.
Yeah, I agree. Because if I had said yes during first year instead of just ghosting Ken or Josh occasionally and only responding in like social settings, like getting more involved in like prayer group or small group first year, I think that my experience would have been different. It would have been, I think I would have opened up more, especially to the mentors or like to the upperclassmen at that time, since I was still, because I wasn't involved as much, I was still very closed off to everyone.
Yeah.
Compared to like this year or like last year when I started opening up more.
Yeah. You think it's something about UVA? Because it's something kind of common, like what you're describing.
I think it's just like people going off to college in general. Like everyone wanting to experience like the college life and experience everything, being involved in everything. Maybe UVA students more than most, but I think UVA students prioritize like academics more, like social life more. I guess like the work hard, play hard mentality. But I think like being involved in a bunch of different groups and trying to make the most of your college experience is like pretty universal for incoming freshmen.
Yeah. So fourth year, how would you describe fourth year? It's been good.
I've never been more not motivated in my entire life.
Never been more not. Why would you say that?
I think like this semester, I've gone to a total like 5. Actually, no, that's not true. I've gone to a total of like 10 classes. They're all
There it
4 of
is.
my mandatory class. Every other, like this semester, there's one class I don't even know who the professor is because I've just never gone.
Yeah.
I just do the assignments. And then, yeah, one class that only meets on Fridays that I told myself I was going to go to after the midterm, but I ended up not going to a single class after. And now we have a final exam. So I think I've just been more focused on trying to spend more time with friends and the people like I'm close with now before like we all move away, and trying to explore more, go on more side quests.
Go on more side quests. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see. Yeah, I'm really glad. It felt like the fourth year guys. I feel like that's a good group of guys, good group of friends. Keep up together. Man. And then about to graduate. Any thoughts about graduation? Entering the working world?
I think it's like both a little scary, but also very exciting. Like I'm excited to start making money and excited to like have a little bit of like autonomy, and decisions over like my life a little bit in terms of like having a place to live or like going what I'm gonna do after work instead of letting like school rule my entire life. There's
Does it though? Because you're not going to class.
I mean, it was like first and third year, it was completely ruling my life. I would spend like, I used to study like 2 weeks before an exam.
Really?
Yeah, and or start studying 2 weeks before an exam. I was always in the library. Like always stressed out. I think I'm still very stressed, but I just get very stressed, but definitely not as much as I used to.
So you might not go to class, but you put in the work.
I put in the work now, yes. I just care a little less about it.
Yeah.
Say that. But going back to what we were saying before, the autonomy of like, now I can't like take a nap in the middle of the day. I have to stay at work, right? I have to work like 9 hours. I think you lose a little bit of independence with your time, but you gain more structure, if that makes sense.
And you want that.
Yeah, I think I like structure a lot. I like not once I like
You
to
like structure.
I like structure because like then because like when you have like an hour or two gaps between classes, I used to tell myself like I'm gonna go to the library, do my homework, and I end up just scrolling my phone for those 2 hours, and I have to work late into the night for my homework because I just never get it done during the day. Versus like work, it ends at 5, you're done. Now you have time to like you can go to the gym. That's another hour, and then after that you can do like something with that time before you go to sleep. So I think that's
Yeah, I think I forgot who I heard this from, but life is the way that they're describing life is it's all about making the right commitments. That it's kind of like what you're describing, that you want to decide on those commitments, because once you make those commitments, you're basically that's creating the structure for you, and then you're going to get those experiences, and as assuming that you follow through on those commitments, that does end up changing you, and so I think life is a lot about finding those right commitments, even the right people.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the biggest fear, I guess, like the scary part of life that I have of graduating is like, I guess coming home after work and my commitment is like to be on my phone and then just scrolling the night away and then like repeat basically. And then
next thing you know, you're 30 years old.
Look back and like, and it's like, wow, is that how I really spent the last 10 years of my life? I guess this is another thing that contributed to like why I kind of started a cooking book, or like I'm more motivated to like do more like outreach, was like this past summer. Well, I was like very motivated. I was kind of motivated. Like I was watching like YouTube videos on like Christianity, getting better, but like I would never read the Bible and I didn't have that church community. So after work, I would just scroll the day away. And then I look back and it's like, wow, 3-4 months has just evaporated. It's like, is this really going to be my life? And that was like the scariest feeling that I like had, is like, wow, this is how people like forget like how old they are, or like how people just realize like, wow, I'm like 35 now and this is what I've done like with my life up to this point. So that very much motivated me to like take on more.
Yeah. That's probably a key insight into what to do after you graduate, because that was just last summer.
Yeah.
What's to say that's not going to happen this summer?
That's one of the reasons why like I got like job offers in a lot of different places. But there's like the reason why I took it in Nova was because like, well, one, the Acts 2 church is there, but also my home church is there as well. Like we have a branch in like Manassas. So I'm able to actually go to a physical location and serve. Versus like if I was not connected, like I would have, if I like no roots somewhere, I'm like very weak.
Yeah.
I'm very lazy. I would never do anything.
Yeah.
Versus like now I have a physical location. I have a pastor who like lives 20 minutes away who could come knocking on my house. Like, are you okay? Like, why have you been responding to my texts?
You want that?
Yeah, I want like accountability. It's like that's the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's key. That's huge. Because basically what you're saying is, I don't want to be left to my own natural self. My natural self is not what I want.
Yeah, my natural self is very lazy, not motivated. Just
and you won't even
there.
like it afterwards. Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge realization. And then I think so many people have this misunderstanding that if I free myself from all obligations, then I'll actually live a blessed life. But I think what you're coming to realize is freedom from obligations actually leads to less life. Like it doesn't lead to like a blessed life. It doesn't lead to satisfaction and looking back on your life and feeling fulfilled and feeling like, yeah, this is good. The hard part though is getting the right obligations.
The right obligations is the
Yeah.
most difficult thing.
Yeah.
Because now, I mean, I mentioned like life after graduation being more structured, but that also means you have less time for yourself, right? The hour, I think between like 6 to 10 is like all you have now. So, like, how am I gonna spend that time? I already knew how I was spending it this past summer, and it wasn't great. So, definitely don't want to repeat that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think college is the most time you'll ever have.
That
And then it'll be the most for a lot of people. I mean, I heard this from my entire like parents' generation, like my uncles, my aunts, my parents. I heard this so many times. They say they grew the most in college spiritually. They made the most friends in their life in college. And then after that, it's because you're tired after work. And you eat dinner, you clean up, you sneak in 1 hour of doom scrolling. And if you can even get yourself to work out, that's the day. You start dating, then you drop the working out, and then you know what I mean? That's like, and then you get a mortgage. 20 years, 30 years will fly by.
Yeah, that's very scary. Yeah, very scary. And at the end, you just feel like so empty after all that.
That's why your parents are amazing. That I guess that's why they waited till you're gone. Because they're like, we have time now.
I think so.
We have more time now. I don't have to wake up Jimmy in the morning. I could just do the devotions without waking up Jimmy.
I think my parents are like have always been this like perfect perfect image of like what I aspire to be. Like they wake up really early to do like devotions. I think my church does like 5 a.m. devotions. So they do that, and they actually work like 2 jobs. They do like they do something in the morning, and then they go to work at the restaurant until like 10. Go home, go to sleep.
10 p.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then in the morning, sometimes they squeeze in like the group Bible study. So they've been that group used to be like 3 people, and then now it's like now it's just like 30 people.
Wow.
They also started hosting like entrepreneurial like Bible studies every month. At a restaurant, which is like open to all, like contacting a lot of people to come to this thing, putting on like Facebook, like doing a lot of outreach for them. It's just like it's very inspiring.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
Yeah. Well, you know probably why they do it at 5 a.m.
Yeah, because that's the only time they have.
It's the only time they have.
And I have tried again and again to wake up early. It was like,
it's because you have other time.
It was my kryptonite. I like.
You have the rest of the day.
Yeah.
They don't have the rest of the day. Yeah.
But it's very hard, especially when Sean knows this. I'm calling out Sean.
Sean.
Like this is like we and Sean like sometimes we talk till like 3 a.m. And then we go to Wawa, and then we come back and we talk more, and it's like time just flies by. And you're
That's
like, wow,
college.
It's the morning now. I think that is one thing I'm gonna miss. It's just sure I had a lot of time. I was like, but also has time to like do just random stuff like this. You know, I'm not gonna be able to do that when I work.
You know, it'd be really radical if you guys stick together.
Stick together. That's true. I think he's going to Minneapolis though.
That'd be radical. Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we can go to Keegan's question. I think it was, what was the most humbling experience that you had at UVA?
Well, I think everyone knows the answer to this question. At least everyone who was there 2 Sundays ago, outside Mem Court. When I like challenged Kai, like I was talking a lot of crap, talking a lot of trash before. I think Kai took that personally because he gave me no space. It absolutely cooked me. 11-1. I think that was pretty humbling in front of everyone. Like I thought like since I had challenged him once before on first year, and I had gotten like a lot better. Like because of that, I took that loss like to heart, and I've been playing like on and off basketball for like the last like 3, 4, 3 years. And I thought I was ready to at least like keep it close, you know, because to at least like 11-7, like for him. But I think he just absolutely destroyed me. I don't even think he was going like all out first year compared to now. It's like,
Oh
man,
yeah, because
man,
you know what that means, right? That means he's been holding back all this time.
he's been holding back. Yeah,
He's been considerate of you. And
we don't know what his true potential is.
wow, that's love right there.
Yeah. And so I always feel like a child getting like absolutely punished by.
It's like when a son
Yeah, it's like
smack talks his dad, and dad's like, "Okay, you really want to know what it's like?"
yeah, and then he goes all out. I don't even think he was going all out in that game either.
I think he has another gear or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just sad. Like all video evidence too, and very humbling.
Yeah, whenever you want it, I have it. I have the video.
I
I'll send it to you.
don't think I ever want to see it. But yeah, very, very humbling experience. Definitely taught me to not talk smack. Or like because I realized I do have a very big mouth, and I like would say random stuff just to get people like kind of like agitated.
Yeah.
And maybe I should be more considerate and not do that. So.
Before I ask you your question, if you could tell first year Jimmy right before, like he's packing up and right before he goes to school, and you have a chance to just have a heart to heart with first year Jimmy, what would you tell him?
I would probably say that like not everyone is like trustworthy and as kind as they like seem. And you don't want to like join all these groups. You want to like just be selective, because I feel like up to that point I was like I really wanted to experience like everything, like Christian life, like social life, like academic life. And I would just surround myself with like a lot of people, and I would care about what a lot of like everyone thought of me. So I would just try to maintain this like perfect image and get everyone to like me. And I realized like later in life, or like now, that like I don't even talk to half those people anymore. Like it doesn't matter. Like my image to the people who I don't value in my life, like I don't really care how they view me now. I don't really only care about how the people I really care about view me, and that's what's most important. And yeah.
And if first year Jimmy says, how do you find those people? How do you tell?
I just say figure it out.
Figure it out.
I think he can figure it out. I mean, he already did once, you know. He can do it again.
He can do it again.
Yeah, maybe give more of your time. I think like don't like harden your heart. I think that's like don't spread yourself out too thin. I think would be another thing I'll tell him, because like if you spread yourself too thin, you can't actually commit fully to anything. So then you're left like completely stretched, and at this point where you're like partially in these groups or not really in these groups, so you can't really fully experience what everyone like in a community like believes in or like acts. So I think like still taking on less.
Yep. All right. Okay, so maybe Braden will be next. I don't know. I don't know who's next, but what question would you like the next person to answer?
I was listening to this one podcast and I heard this question asked. It was like, what is the worst advice you've ever received? I want to ask the next person this.
Worst advice you've ever received. Okay. All right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on, Jimmy.
Yeah, of course.
Can't believe it's almost over, 4 years. But
time flies.
time flies.
It's gonna fly faster after graduation. So hopefully I'm filling my time with meaningful things. So
Amen. All right.